Iran hasn't changed its behavior 1 year after nuclear agreement reached, U.S. general says. 2 days before the anniversary of the landmark nuclear agreement reached between Iran and 6 world powers led by the United States, a top U.S. military commander says Iran has not changed its behavior, as 5 Iranian patrol boats took turns shadowing a U.S. Navy warship he was visiting in the Persian Gulf. Army General Joseph Votel, who leads U.S. Central Command, said while the deal has frozen Iran's nuclear weapons program for a time, the activities of Iran's Revolutionary Guard forces still concern him in the Persian Gulf and beyond. Among those activities, capturing 10 U.S. Navy sailors at gunpoint when their vessels drifted into Iranian territorial waters in January. Their general activities that we see out here in the Gulf have not changed as a result of the nuclear agreement. And really, as we've seen much more broadly around the region, Votel said. He spoke to a small group of reporters during a visit aboard USS New Orleans, LPD-18, in the Persian Gulf as the amphibious ship transited the Strait of Hormuz. The 684-foot warship was leaving the Persian Gulf with a crew of 1,100 including 650 Marines, following nearly 5 months of operations during a planned 7-month deployment. Votel said Iran should be taken to task for capturing the Navy sailors before releasing them a day later. I think they should be held accountable for the way they conducted themselves, Votel said, but he added that it was not up to him to determine what that punishment should be. Had the roles been reversed, the outcome would have been very different, Votel said. If we came across a disabled ship, a small vessel in the area, we would try to assist it, we certainly wouldn't board it against their will. A U.S. Navy investigation recently determined that Iran violated international law for its actions in subduing the American crew. During the general's visit to USS New Orleans, 5 Iranian patrol craft approached the ship. The Iranian vessels included one Hudong-class missile boat, identified by U.S. Navy sailors as P-313-6 Shams, capable of launching 4 anti-ship missiles or firing its 2 30mm cannons. 3 other Iranian patrol boats had 50 cal machine guns mounted as well as 2 rows of multiple rocket launchers. The missile boat sailed within 500 yards of the U.S. ship. Votel called the incident normal activity. Officials with Central Command, responsible for military operations in the Middle East, called the interaction safe, routine, and professional and without incident. Fox News was present aboard USS New Orleans and witnessed the Iranian interactions and can confirm the Iranian ships did not appear to show hostile intent. But similar Iranian warships launched unguided rockets 1,500 yards from the American aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt in December, also during a transit of the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Navy ships cross the strait 250 times a year. 90% of those transits are characterized as safe, according to Commander Bill Urban, a spokesman for the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, responsible for maritime operations in the Persian Gulf. It's those other 10% of Iranian interactions with U.S. Navy warships that have Vodal concerned. In a relatively compressed space here, there is great opportunity for miscalculation, the general said. Our people don't always have a lot of time to deal with those interactions. What we have probably learned here today is that it's measured in minutes. Urban says the U.S. Navy has rendered assistance to 4 Iranian-flagged vessels in the last 2 months, 11 since 2012. Appearing before the Senate Armed Service Committee in March, Vodal told lawmakers the United States should expose Iran for the destabilizing role it was playing in the Middle East. When asked about those comments Monday aboard USS New Orleans, Vodal said, Iran has to be held accountable for the type of influence they are trying to create, whether it is instability in Yemen, whether it is their backing of the Syrian regime, who attacks their own people who drops barrel bombs on them, and causing significant refugee problems. Iran tried illegally to obtain nuclear equipment in the months after the nuclear agreement was reached last year, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing German intelligence officials. In January, U.S. and European Union lifted some sanctions against Iran as part of the deal. When asked if Iran had been held accountable for taking the U.S. Navy sailors hostage, Vodal said, I don't think so.